Everyone, you're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash. Here's today's comic, Detective Comics 998. And if you sense a little bit of enthusiasm in my voice, it's because I'm not reviewing a Bendis book, and I'm reviewing a book that I actually really like. Tomase Monkey, I don't know, writer, artist, cover artist. I really love this cover, actually. A lot of people don't like these static covers. Tell me what you think, if you're one of these people. I really like these just sort of pin-up look. I mean, pin-ups exist for a reason. I like this stained glass window. Adds to the Baroque theme or feel of the image. One thing I like about these artist covers is this UPC being like stamped right on the front. I wish they could throw it on the back. That's what they should do. But then I think comic retailers bitch about it because they bag and board their books, and then that sucks. I don't know. I just don't like it. It's nitpicky. This was a hard book to review. This is my third attempt to review this book for various reasons. It's probably not going to be the best review. I apologize ahead of time. This book really kind of stunned me, and I'm still stunned. As you know, I've been a huge proponent of the Detective Comics run. I think 994 was great. A great start for Peter Tomasi. And then 995 came back and was like, oh, you like that? Watch this. And that's probably the singular best issue that I have read of an ongoing series like comic this year. Like, that was a winner. That I gotta write that down. Englentine, I Love Comics. He does his end of the year. Actually, he does them every 6 months now. Sort of award show, and one of them is like best issue. That's gotta go down. The next one, 996 and 997, took a dip a little bit. That's not to be a negative. It's just that was a really high bar to follow, but they were carrying it pretty well. I like those. This one, however, is probably the worst of the bunch. And we see Batman. At this point, each of these issues is turning into who do we interrogate next? And this time it's now Hugo Strange. The last issue we had with Mr. Miracle. That was actually really cool, the whole escape. Hugo Strange, he shows up and he thinks that he's behind this monster thing we don't know what it is. At least I don't know what it is. It looks like Batman, can take various shapes. And he shows up and you can see Hugo Strange makes these little monsters and he's interrogating him. They never really explain why Hugo Strange is dressed up as Batman. But maybe that's part of the lore that I'm just not real familiar with. I'm not really going to go into the dialogue. This part almost felt unnecessary, And I was a little disappointed because the last issue left off with him going to Hugo Strange, like, oh, what's going to be the big deal with that? And this is just a couple of pages of him interrogating. He gets a call from Alfred talking about Jason Blood being in trouble, and he tells him to send in the Hellbat armor. You're like, all right. And he's a little monologue. He's like, it continues. I was wrong about Strange, and this current attack is no coincidence. Blood is on my list. I went to him early on after Zatara. This is really cool. You can see it's like rocketing in. At first I was like, what the hell? Is this some missile coming at him? No, it's the Hellbat armor. Criminals are a superstitious and cowardly lot. And when I came to learn about fear and intimidation, I couldn't imagine a better teacher to go to than a man who's been forced to live with a raging demon inside, fighting to get out. And then, boom, the armor appears. Batman. Voice recognized. Hellbat access granted. It's been a while since I wore this suit. And blah, blah, he goes and he talks about... I should probably continue on. This part, as a kind of a critique, I finished it with a little help of my friends. Forged in the sun by Clark, and charged with the distinct but limited powers of Hal, Barry, Arthur, Victor, and Diana. The Hellbat does have its limits, namely mind. Wait, Batman, I thought you didn't have limits.
The energy interchange capacitor draws from my own metabolism. If I'm not careful, my life force can be drained dry by the suit. I think of the Hellbat one way, in case of emergency break glass, and worry about the cleanup of the shards later.
And then he's at this Blood's place. So, what's the critique part? No, that's not actually the critique part. Thought it was. Thinking of a different spot. So he shows up. And this comic is really kind of an excuse to just show off this armor, I think, and have Batman beat up a demon or fight with a demon, which is not necessarily a bad thing, right? So he's like shows up in his armor, Etrigan. I mean, the comic wastes no time. All we see is like, here's the armor. Next thing we know, boom, and there's this big ass demon chomping on Etrigan.
Release Etrigan. I won't ask twice.
Bats and demons, demons and bats. I will release Etrigan only after I consume every ounce of his foul blood and empower Zack. Ah! Oh, man of his word, how rare indeed. Just like the meat that will hang from your bones.
And he's just... that was funny. And Batman... What is it?
Why place yourself in mortal danger in this demon from hell? Because the man named Blood chained Etrigan is a friend. If you stand in my way, I will drag your soul back to hell with me.
Oh wait, that's confusing the voices.
If you stand in my way, I'll drag your soul back to hell with me.
What makes you think I'm afraid of hell?
I love that. And I love any excuse to do the Christian Bale voice, and I know I don't do it good, but that's kind of the point. It's,
swear to me!
It's over the top. So they're fighting, and this is a pretty cool little fight scene. Batman is fighting. The demon gets some licks in. This cool little scene here where they're fighting in the building, you see from the outside, and then like crash through the floor, and then it zooms out, and it's like crash, 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 and then outside, explosion. They go outdoors. The demon's getting his own licks in. The suit's warning: breach detected. Hellbat suit integrity compromised. Vital signs in flux. And Batman's like, I had enough or whatever, and he's like,
initiate Devastator.
90% chance physiology will not be able to withstand synthesized power surge.
Engage.
95% chance of cardiac arrest. You're like, uh-oh. What?
I said do it.
Capacitor at full charge.
Route all power to right hand now.
And you can see routing. And then I get to this part. I didn't even notice over here. But what the F is this? Oh, bats. I don't even know who I am anymore. Oh, Ash. That's the Superman logo with a Wonder Woman logo on top of it. Yeah, I see that. Why is that inside the bat armor on some sort of circuit board? Like, is this like Intel inside? Like, what is this? What do these guys have? Some sort of corp? The Super Wonder Woman Corp? They're making electronics now? Why would this be in here? Like some sort of like brand stamp. When you make something at home, do you like put some corporate logo stamp on it? No, like this was just dumb to me. Dumb. I'm overreacting, but still. Devastator synthesis complete.
Hadouken!
Okay, it's not really a Hadouken, but it should have been. That'd have been funny. And he punches the demon. The demons and bats are now falling.
Redirect descent angle. Take us back to launch point.
Redirecting. Now, this kind of annoyed me. They go through this little tense moment here. 90% chance physiology cannot. And he's like, do it. 95% chance of cardiac arrest. So you're like, oh, this tension. right? This is supposed to be a tense moment of like Batman's putting his life on the line, the demons got him, and you know he's got to do this risky maneuver, and then punches him, and nothing happens. What I'm like, and he didn't, and not only does nothing happen, but they don't even address like, oh look, the 5%, you rolled the dice, you had a 5% chance of pulling it off, and he did, and just moving on. Like, I think this was bad. This is a missed opportunity. I think there could have been a lot more tension here. I think Batman should have maybe gone into cardiac arrest after doing this, and he's like falling, and you know the demon's kind of like stunned or knocked out, or you know because of the punch, and then now Batman's like in cardiac arrest, and now the suit has to engage some like emergency resuscitation measures, and is trying to like bring him back to, you know, and he like comes back to life, like he gets resuscitated, you know, because you can come back from, but that would have been like a tense moment, like, oh shit, Batman is dying, and then like, oh, and you're like, damn, the dude like totally put his life on the line to do this maneuver. I don't know, I think that would have pulled off, and it's like, why even do that? Why institute that whole moment about like, oh, you're probably going to die if you do this, and then just gloss over it afterwards? Seems wasteful. So Batman saves the day. You don't really care what happens, right? I mean, shoves him down into his little pit in his hole. Batman takes off his armor. I'm here to, you know, came to save you. And we see now Jason Blood. And Batman is talking to him about various things. Just trying to put the whole mystery together. And this feels like where I feel like I'm reading the book, I'm like, this is just recycled. This is like what we've already seen the past 2 issues. And it's kind of wearing thin. It's not like it's bad at all. I think I'm putting higher standards for this book and what Tomasi's been doing. So, Blood gives him a few little answers that don't really matter. Batman's got his old grappling gun. He found it here with Jason. He's like, oh, one of my grappling guns to protect that I use, the prototype that I used when I first hit the streets. I do not recall purchasing that for the curio store.
Finding this here and now isn't just a coincidence. I need to be somewhere, Blood. I got a travel sigil in your pocket.
Always. Just tell me where. As at Star Labs.
Hello, Dr. Stone.
Hello, Batman. What brings you to Metropolis?
I came here to save you.
Does it look like I need saving?
No, not at the moment.
And who are you here to save me from? Batman's looking out the window.
Someone's been trying to kill everyone who's been a teacher, a guide, a mentor to me. Anyone who had a role, who was building a building block to when I was trying to
build a better Batman. Yes, bright-eyed, driven, blah, blah, blah. So they have this whole communication, shows him the gun. He asks about his son, Cyborg. How's League business going? Blah, blah, Cyborg, your son? Yeah, he's good, blah, blah. If you'll allow me, I'll even make some adjustments to make this optimal, blah, blah. And he's like,
no, I prefer it like it is. Like an old shoe.
Oh, with all
due respect, Silas, I see you're immersed in this analog work isn't sitting right with me. I came here because I thought you were in danger, but
blah, 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 talkie. And he's got his little grappling gun, and he says, you need to experience things that would otherwise be impossible. What do you fear? And he shoots him. What scares you?
Not being Batman. Unable to help. Unable to make a difference.
And now he's like, at first I was like, what's going on? He's like in the Matrix. Well, we always knew that to wear the cape and cowl, we'd have to wage war on ourselves, Bruce. And then we see this. Now, I'm not sure how to interpret this. I'm thinking this is like Bruce as a kid. Or maybe this is another character. And this is kind of frustrating me. Because, yes, I know I'm kind of a DC novice. but I'm not a total Batman nub. There's a lot of lore over 80 years that, you know, has gone under, I don't know about. But I'm still feeling lost all the time with, like, bringing back these characters. You know, I didn't know about Miracle Man. Sorry, Mr. Miracle. I don't know if this is someone, I shouldn't feel this, like, this sense of, like, oh, I don't have this PhD in DC Comics, so I'm lost. You should always be able to write stories, assuming that your story is the first story a person, you know, is a new time comic reader is jumping into. So someone who's new time comic would even be more unaware than me. And maybe it's not. Maybe this is someone that no one knows. But I can't help this feeling of like, oh, this is something, again, in the lore that I'm not aware about. And that kind of makes me feel, eh. But I am still interested to keep reading. This book wasn't bad. It doesn't hold up to the standard that's been. It's a bump in the road. I honestly feel like this is a stretch book. I feel like that they're trying to end it on issue 1000, have the big climax, and Peter Tomasi started a little spittle there. No, don't do that to Batman. Jeez. No. I'm really anal about my books, too. Probably should have dabbed. Always dab, don't wipe. We'll correct that later. I think maybe if Tomasi had started his run a little bit later, maybe it felt a little tight. I don't know, it just feels like they're stretching. It's like, okay, delay, don't wrap this up yet. Not a bad thing. Like I said, this book, in the greater scheme of things, this book is not at all really a bad book. It's just more of an average book. And that's going to happen with ongoing runs. That's just the way it works. Everything can't be a home run all the time. So, here we go. This is not the book to start your Batman run or Detective Comics run, for sure. 994 is. 995 is amazing. You're going to read those two books and you're going to want to read. And this is just part of the whole. And maybe there's stuff in here that will be made more important by stuff down the line. I don't know. But that's Detective Comics. So tell me what you thought if you're reading this book. Tell me what you think if you're not reading this book. Tell me why you're not reading it, why you're not interested. And look forward to reading your comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.